What about me isn't dateable for a white woman?
Your genetics.
What about it?
Black people have, it's not just skin color.
Okay,
they
what
have
is
lower IQ, lower impulse control. Black people not only never developed an advanced civilization, they can't maintain one.
Do you think that black people are in any way inferior to white people?
Yes.
Which ways, Bubba?
I mean, they literally have the lowest IQ between blacks and whites, so...
Would you like to do an IQ test right now between yourself and me?
Mine would be much higher.
You think so?
I know so. I don't need to think.
Hey, what's the mitochondria?
The what?
Mitochondria.
So you're going to try these big words to actually try
Super simple question. It's literally,
It's
what,
not,
fourth
so-
grade science? What's the mitochondria?
Actually, it's not. You're just trying to use big words to sound smarter when you're not.
Oh, okay, so you don't know what the mitochondria is.
Okay, so stop trying to use big words.
That's
little buddy,
literally
so...
it's fourth grade science.
No, it's not.
It's fourth grade. It literally is fourth grade science.
Do you remember the fourth grade? 'Cause I don't.
It's okay. Hey, what's the square root of 81?
So what? So I'm trying to debate Dean, not some dumbass nigga.
What's this? Oh, STR. Slur to run. Hey, did you see on his profile that it said that he's a Southern Baptist minister?
I did see that.
Yeah, I saw it coming. The question I had was, I wanted to know, why does he vote alongside of the Klan if he's a minister? But obviously that's why.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, all good.
About that, Santana.
I've been called worse by better people.
Well, listen, I'm not gonna laugh it off because I think that it's incredibly fucked up. But of course, you know, you are the victim of it, and you have the ability to laugh it off as you wish. But what I will say for everybody watching is, if you're unsure about the existence of systemic racism oppressing black and brown people, but not white people, watch my stream and then watch Santana's stream. I've never seen better and more clear evidence of the existence of racism against black and brown people that does not exist against white people. Santana has been on the live for 3 seconds, and he's already been disparaged for his race. I haven't been disparaged for my race in 3 years. So I don't know. Keep that in mind.
I don't know. When they don't have anything, that's what they go to. I mean, and you know, that was on me. I shouldn't have embarrassed them so quickly. Like, that was on me.
You fucking embarrassed him. You fucking embarrassed him. Oh my god. You fucking embarrassed him. I'll happily send you that clip from my live stream. I've just never seen a better embarrassment.
White people have high IQ. We invented everything.
Asian people have higher IQ. So do Jews.
White people are, I think, different. It's fair to say.
How?
Well, there's a difference between. Did you agree? There's a difference between the races.
It depends on what you mean. Like melanin, yeah, sure.
So who has higher IQ, Africa or white Americans?
Typically, not just white Americans, all Americans have higher IQ. Do you know why?
Well, the black people here a lot of times are mixed, and then the weaker ones died for various reasons.
There's a study in Afghanistan. IQ in Afghanistan, when we started giving them nutrition and education, we would look at a mother who hadn't had nutrition and education versus when we started allowing, for the 20 years we were in Afghanistan, letting girls enter school and ensuring better nutrition. Guess how many IQ points on average the daughters had higher than their mothers?
Oh, if they're getting proper nutrition, I bet.
And education.
I don't know about educate.
The biggest predictor of later IQ is exposure to vocabulary early on.
Oh, okay. So you can raise your IQ if you're reading books when you're young.
Or talking to your kids lots. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I still don't think you could give a 70 IQ Somalian all the help in the world.
A psychology professor at the University of Winnipeg was teaching his students that people who are black have lower IQs and that they are more likely to commit murder than white people. His name is Professor Jeremy Freimer, and students obviously filed complaints because that's incorrect. His defense is that the statistics are there. There are statistics that say these things. But the thing that I find so incredibly interesting, especially in somebody who is academically teaching psychology that thrives on studies, is that statistics are like a bikini. What they reveal is interesting, but what they cover is crucial. For example, there's a statistic that exists that says in Canada, Jewish people experience the most hate crimes. And you could read that statistic and feel in your heart that it is true. But what you must understand first is that in order to report a hate crime, you must have faith in the police and you must report them to police. That truth becomes a little bit foggy because, yes, Jews reported more hate crimes than any other minority groups in Canada, but we can't ignore the glaring fact that in Northern Ontario, in honestly any place, there's probably so many Indigenous people who aren't reporting hate crimes. There's definitely a lot of Black folks who aren't reporting hate crimes. And it's those hidden parts of the statistic that make those statistics untrue. In the example of Black people are more genetically inclined to commit crime. In order to make that claim, you would have to find the gene for murder in DNA, which does not exist. Therefore, you would have to look at other socioeconomic standards because race is not the common denominator here. Could you find a statistic that says men between the ages of X and Y who grew up without present parents in their household, who lived in households making under X amount of dollars, who had experienced juvenile detention between the ages of X and Y, are more likely to commit murder? Yes, you could create a statistic like that. But when there is nothing in the actual genetic material that is telling you, oh, check, commit more crime, check, have a lower IQ, then you have to start looking at other factors because race is not the common denominator there. And I think it's actually absolutely appalling that somebody in an academic field would not have the vision to see it that way. And you know, during the pandemic, Trump said, well, if we stop testing, then we're going to stop having cases of COVID. That's kind of why these statistics exist. In places that are over-policed, such as Black neighborhoods, you're going to find more crime because there are more police there. That incredibly narrow-minded, closed-minded, I'm looking for statistics that affirm my own personal beliefs, that shit has no place in academia. And I'm so proud of all of those students for coming through and being like, this shit is not correct. Even if you have the statistics to prove it, this shit is not correct.
Being racist is proof of a low IQ, and we need to start treating it as such. There is no reason in the year 2025 we let people sit in our face and be like, yeah, you're better than me because of the color of your skin. Truly. Like, why do we even still have these conversations? I don't even understand why we give people platforms and allow them to speak about these things, because it's like we're going in circles and circles and circles about something that fundamentally does not matter, that they've made us they've made matter in order to divide us. And so many of these people are either brainwashed or so fucking hateful and unempathetic that they genuinely believe that race is the end-all be-all. Like, I would love to have racists in my comments right now. Tell me what valid reasons you have for thinking that you are better than any other race because you're white, or because you're any other race. Like, I believe this goes with every race who believes that they're above any minority. But at the end of the day, in America at least, white people made this country. The rules were built for them, by them. So we can acknowledge that systematic racism is real. And we need to stop acting like these racists are just not fucking stupid. Like, why do you think, like, fundamentally it's not logical in the slightest?
Prevents.
So what you guys have to understand is that, welcome, this is white supremacy. It's irrational. It's not sensible. And unfortunately, Candace Owens is not qualified to debunk him, which would be, frankly, quite easy to do. But welcome. This is white supremacy. No facts needed. No truth needed.
Development and investment and things like that. But, you know, again, when you look at the antecedents of all these, you know, the history didn't start, like you said, with World War II in the 20th century. There's a reason that European civilization created this enormous gap between them and everybody else. And I don't think it was that it was white supremacy or it was unfair or something like that. I think it's because Europeans are smarter. I think that on average, Europeans
So to
are
use
smarter.
your argument against you, that could be said about Ashkenazis. So if you're sitting here saying, I believe in some conspiracy and that it's a coordinated effort and blah, 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 they could look at you and say, that's a leftist argument. We're just smarter.
Shout out to ABCD writes, what country exactly? I'm not sure if you're talking about what country am I in, but I actually have found that we have a lot of fans around the world, really. But in this country in particular, I got out of the elevator, guys like Peace of the Saints, and I ran a mile and stopped to shadow box. 5 guys walk up like, hey man, we follow this. So I don't want to say what country I'm in because I don't want to be have the nature of my experience here changed. I'm more so staying low key. So I'm not going to say which country I am in. May I acknowledge Chemical writes, a few old buildings in Africa, the Getty ruins, Great Zimbabwe, ruins of Axum, thank you, Kilwa, Kisiwani, tethers. This comment is another example of FBA protecting protecting Africa's history. There you go.
I think they are smart.
They are smart. Smarter.
I think they're
the
probably
smartest.
white as a team. People get that way. The Talmud is. The education are worse. In the high school standardized tests, they're almost all Asians in math and science. Asians aren't overrepresented in power. It's Jewish people. So Jewish people are not, proportionally as more intelligent as they are more overrepresented. And that goes to their real superpower, which is they're an organized minority. An organized minority will be the disorganized majority. As far as
That's funny. I'm pretty sure that Nick Fuentes follows the ism. He absolutely does follow the ism. That's actually a quotation from Vladimir Ilyich Plekhanov Lenin. I don't think he knows that because he's heard me say it, but curious. And that is a fact. He's correct in that. It's one of the few correct things he said tonight.
As Africa is concerned, they didn't have the wheel. We got there, they didn't have the wheel. And it's unfortunate. It's not anything that...
It's wild that Candace is not able to reply to.
I need you to see this. Elon Musk is spreading a very specific kind of racism on the internet right now.
Elon started retweeting some of the most prominent race scientists, and there was nothing. No one... Chuck Schumer met with him after that. He's the sort of patient zero for a lot of stuff right now.
Elon seems to really like this account. They've gone by a few names on the platform, but they share extremely racist content that argues that black people are innately intellectually inferior beings. We actually settled this debate generations ago, but Elon Musk is helping to bring it back.
Meet Louis Agassiz, a Swiss-born American biologist who believed that the races developed separately and were of different origins. In his view, Negroes were of the, quote, lowest grade of humanity.
Look at this graph. It shows the follower growth of this account over time. And many of those peaks that you're seeing are the moments when Elon Musk engaged with them over the last few years. A simple response from Elon gives a fringe account like this one access to millions of users, drawing greater attention to these destructive ideas and earning this account tens of thousands of new followers. This page is part of a larger network of race science advocates on Twitter, people who use out of context IQ data and cherry-picked examples to make gross, sweeping statements about entire groups of people. And Elon Musk gobbles it up, pulling his audience of tens of millions of followers down the rabbit hole with him. And I'm not the only one who recognizes Elon's impact. They know that he's the best thing to happen to their racist ideas too, saying that he's done more to raise awareness for their cause than anything else.
People are not being convinced by the strength of the empirical argument. They're being convinced by the appearance of the empirical argument.
That's Will Stansel. He's an attorney and he's been fighting against this army of bigots for months.
People are almost more susceptible to simpler, charts with race and IQ than they are to the really complicated stuff. The simple stuff, they can look at a chart and there's a line, there's a line that says black Americans and says IQ 70, white Americans IQ 101, and people go, well, that's it then. This is the most basic statistical error in the book. Is that correlation doesn't equal causation.
Now, if you encounter this content in the wild, there are graphs in academic sounding language saying that IQ data proves that people of European descent are intellectually and genetically superior. You may know that it's wrong, but you may not have the language for it. So I reached out to Dr. Sasha Gusev.
My name is Sasha Gusev. I am an associate professor at the Harvard Medical School. I am a statistical geneticist by training.
I asked him if there was any scientific legitimacy to the claims that these people were making.
So I think there's a couple of ways to think about it. One is this concept of race fundamentally doesn't have a basis in biology. So, as I mentioned, like the model, the evolutionary model that we have of genetic diversity is completely different from this sort of social model that we have of distinct, isolated racial groups. And so whenever we start talking about racial differences, that is already a flawed view of looking at genetic variation, which just does not follow those kinds of hard and separate racial distinctions.
I think Dr. Gusev captured perfectly why Elon's role in spreading these ideas is just so uniquely dangerous.
There's a kind of fusion of old school, just like gutter racism that everybody can kind of recognize, and this new school Silicon Valley data-driven analysis. And I think that is very confusing to people, and a lot of times they don't know what to do with it. They say, hey, there's this thing that I understand is ugly, and then there's somebody posting 100 charts that seem to support it.
Talk to me, why are you engaging in this online? I mean, you're a busy scholarly individual, you're a professor. What brings you to Twitter to argue with derps online?
That's a good question. I asked that question myself a lot too. I think it is important for the people who actually run those studies and understand where those charts are coming from and how their work is being misused, to be out there and talking about it.
People are happy about.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges.
The average IQ in some parts of sub-Saharan Africa is under 75, which is considered mentally disabled. East Asians have measurably a higher average IQ than Europeans, and they're less criminal, and they're more prosperous.
So you're saying Asians are smarter than us?
Yes, on average.
Yeah.
Like every Japanese person I've met, or like Korean, seems really smart, but I've met some Chinese people where it's like, really? I feel like they're fudging the numbers on that one, to be honest.
As far as most experts are concerned, all of these IQ numbers are fudged. Here's a bit more about that from somebody who knows his shit, because I feel like it's worth it.
These tests were made for the purpose of figuring out who's going to do well in school. It doesn't predict terribly well to many kinds of real-world successes. There's so much it doesn't tell you. That it doesn't tell you about emotional intelligence, creative intelligence, common sense, wisdom. There's so much more to a person than just their IQ. I would say the major problem has been what's sometimes called scientific racism, but it's not really scientific. It's using the guise of science to advance racist views, because you sometimes get racial differences in different kinds of test scores, including IQ, that don't take into account where those differences may come from. It was convenient for some people to say, well, look, we can divide people by nationality or socially defined race or ethnic group or religion into different IQ groups, and they probably believe themselves that it told you something, but it didn't tell you what they thought it told you. People with high IQs are often better at convincing themselves of whatever they want. So in other words, they use their IQ for self-justification. They're better at justifying whatever they want to believe. So if they have an ideology, they may have a very weird ideology, but they'll find ways to defend it even if it's not factually accurate.
Welcome back to the channel, and thank you for seeing those clips. I'm sure right now everybody is actually seeing that the black community is being hated worldwide. I'm not saying this because I'm a black man now, but I'm saying this based on what is actually going whenever anything that happens in front of a black man. Because I see no reason why they would ask you a question that who are the people with the lowest IQ, and the person you can actually think of next is saying the black. Is it because of their skin color? What makes you think they are the one that have the lowest IQ among all the race? We have many races. There are Hispanic, we have Latino, we have Caucasian, name it. But yet, the racism towards the black can never end. And this is what is actually happening in that video you just saw right now. Because the man was asked, and he actually pointed out and make it glaring that they hate black equality. This is not about gender inequality or I'm not supporting black, no. But let's talk based on humanity. Humanity came before anything. And that is what is happening. And right now, a lot of black people are fighting against this. They are not holding back. Whenever things like this happen, or any racial abuse is made towards black, they actually stand up and fight back immediately. Don't get me wrong. I do not say they get into physical fight, no. They do the right thing and they let the law take the charge. I'm heartbroken seeing this. In this year, this is not supposed to be happening around the world again. Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's dive in. Let's give more respectful comments on this same video. Thank you. See you in the next one.